Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andar, and welcome to this gameplay of Rise to Ruins in-depth version 33B. The game was upgraded recently, and we have started a new game. And in this video, we'll be providing you tips and tricks and letting you know exactly what has changed during the patch and how to go about playing. Now, for those of you coming back to this game, understand that the gameplay style has changed quite significantly. We'll be covering that. For those of you who are new, the objective of the game is to inhabit each of the tiles on this world map with your people successfully and survive for 1 year in every region in this world. It's a pretty beautiful world, but there is a lot of corruption to look into. You also get chests for the chest grand progress that you get every time you complete this bar. You get a chest. You unlock each chest by possessing the corresponding amount of God experience. Now we're going to wait to open this 4,500 chest, which we should be able to do in this video. Now, one thing to for those of you coming back to the game is that the corruption bar at the bottom of the screen over here has disappeared. It was over here in the previous builds. Now it is not. There's no more corruption bar in the game. There's no global corruption scale. What happens now is that the corruption avoids your town and then possesses every other section of the map. We'll be going into that as well. First of all, we're going to be looking at the enchanted shoreline where we started our new map. So we'll just go ahead and load that up. Performance is much better compared to previous games. Let me just snort some cocaine or something over here. Just a moment. If you heard that, God bless you. And now that I'm properly high, I'm going to show you guys day 31, year 2 of my map over here. We are currently in... Well, I even forgot where the hell we are, which is amazing. Oh well, doesn't matter. So this is the map. Now you guys can actually see that the structure is quite different. In previous games, you usually rush to corner the infestation, block it to one corner of the map, and then hopefully expand from there. In this series, you do not do that for the simple reason that the infestation increases in intensity every time you try to stifle its territory. You can see that a second bar has been added to the above the influence bar, which is called corruption threat. Threat increases as the corruption becomes trapped. The more space on the map the corruption desires to control and cannot, the higher this bar will be. As a result, more monsters will spawn, and in addition to the already steadily increasing daily spawn rate. So what that means is higher the bar, more monsters you get. So instead of a global corruption scale, the game now has a local corruption scale. Now, just to show you guys how the corruption works, you can see that it has spread across the map. It basically started from down here, and it started spreading everywhere quite steadily. But what it does not do is occupy any area near your territory. So let me just show you guys how this looks. Now, if I remove a territory, or if I remove a building here contributing corruption resistance, the corruption will start spreading into my land. But as long as one of my structures is here, the corruption avoids our walls, our town, and skirts away. So you can see how it is completely skirted our lands and try to occupy the rest of the space. You can keep that away. You can keep the corruption and the graveyards away by building graveyard towers. Now, one of the concerns that we saw in this game is that if you try to expand too close to the corruption and there is some construction work going on, these stupid people, the villagers, they tend to go attack the structures and die pretty quickly. Now, I know that message came up on screen, but that citizen died of natural causes, not any actual problem. Now, the point here being that what you want to do is ensure that rapid expansion early on in the game is something that you want to achieve and that you complete achieving long before the corruption gets anywhere near you. So if the corruption is about covering this much of the map, you should have finished establishing at least three-fourths to half the territory that you want for this particular region in the game. So you don't want to still be only in your quarter of the map when the invasion is in the quarter. You don't want to scale with the invasion. You want to map out your territory, stake it with curtain walls and stone walls, put in your ballista towers, and be done by the time the corruption is even near your gate from one point. You don't want to be battling the corruption at your doorstep and constructing at the same time, because your stupid citizens will go and die at the hands of the towers. So that is very, very important. In one of my video playthroughs which I was recording, my villagers kept on attacking the tower, which was about in this area, and a stream of monsters kept on coming in, and I eventually lost the map and had to redo it. So remember, select the area that you want to be in at the very beginning of the game, and make sure that you have planned your expansion properly and that you stake your territory as quickly as possible. Keep an eye on the way the corruption is spreading, and you should be perfectly okay. Now, the other thing to remember is the starting defense. You will notice one thing, and that is the most conspicuous absence of... Yeah, thank you. The most conspicuous absence of Golem Combobulator towers. Now, just to give you guys an idea, the 6 Ice Crystal Golem Combobulators that I have here, only 6, providing me with about 30-odd golems, 5 each, were built on day 28 or 29. Just to give you guys an idea, day 28, 29, I built the Golem Combobulators. My very first Ice Crystal Combobulator came up then. The reason is very simply that you do not use those in the beginning of the game. Unlike the previous build where you used to spam Golem Combobulators, build an army of 300 of them, and just go crash into the monsters. That doesn't work anymore. Those are very difficult to maintain. You need a steady supply of cryolithium crystals. You need crystal stores as well. All of that. You need a villager operating the combobulator. You can see that guy's bringing in some supplies, and you need him to do to manage the combobulator while the golem is created, and the golem requires a steady supply of energy, otherwise the golem dies. So that's how that works, right? So the way you do it here is you start with, I don't have those here right now because I've replaced them, but you start with these towers, the bullet towers. They're really easy to make, and you start them at your designated entry point to your maze. Like I said, again, it's very important for you to stake out your area, the territory that you want to occupy on the map. So for us, this area is what we have staked as ours. The corruption occupies the rest of the map. The reason is, again, the more area the corruption occupies, the smaller the corruption threat bar, the lower the number of spawns that come crashing into your defenses, and thus the lower the chances that you will get murdered. Then what you do is you start off with 2 bullet towers, preferably on either side, flanking the entrance to your maze. You can replace them with spray towers later, and then you build up a rock tumbler. All of this you can manage in the very first day of the game. Once you build the rock tumbler, your 2 towers will basically defend you for day 1 and day 2. Remember that monsters will follow the shortest route to your camp, which eventually becomes a large castle. Now you have to define that castle. Route to the castle. Ensure that that route is somewhere close to the monsters like this. I don't mean right next to the corruption area. Don't put your camp right here. Okay, not next to the corruption. But it should be close enough that the monsters will start following your maze entrance, which should be roaded, by the way. I've coined a new verb. It should have a road paved directly to the castle, which should be a paved, cobbled, cut stone and board road. I'm sorry, the best one is cut stone and board road. So you should have cut stone and board roads going all the way to your castle, so that the monsters will use the maze path and then go straight through your defenses. Do not try to leave a maze path without a road built in, because then the monsters will decide that it's far easier to try and attack a secondary gate or try attack your walls directly. That's not something that you want to do. So you can also put a line, a moat here, so that some monsters that will be stupid enough to go into the moat will be slowed down or will get damaged, etc., etc. That is a forlorn hope. Monsters are pretty intelligent, but when that happens, good for you. You can also build fire pits right into the stone walls that you build in to extend your range and make construction much smoother. Most of your walls for all your entire territory will be made up of curtain walls. That would be this one. You can also make trash cube walls if you feel like, but we'll get to trash in a minute. You can make curtain walls, and the area near the entrance to your maze will be made up of stone walls. Now, the reason for that is that your towers can then fire into and over the walls and into the maze, and thus kill a lot of monsters. Now I'm going to be replacing this wall probably the next day with curtain walls, so that my spraying towers can just, you know, spray directly into the maze over here. Another thing to remember is that in the beginning, bullet towers, like I said, are your first line of defense. You can also build static towers fairly quickly. Line them up along the stone walls so that they start throwing in their electricity and killing monsters. Preferably, you want the road to be as close to the wall as possible so that they take maximum damage. I don't think there's a damage fall off, but it's better. It's better to be careful. You can also make sure that the road that you build on the second line of the maze is where the area of effect of the static tower does connect. So we have luckily built it properly. The road over here and the road over here fall under its area of effect, and thus you can keep the monsters under control. Later on in the game, you can build ballista towers at the edges of your territory for the simple reason that they will attack and destroy any structure that is currently being built and trim the enemy forces. You can see that the ballista tower is attacking that graveyard and also the creatures associated with that graveyard. You can just build a ballista towers on the perimeters of your territory and trim away the enemy structures. You can see there are very few or hardly any enemy structures near my territory. They're all fairly far away. When you have a lot of immigrants, do start building a migration station and then send. Hold on, let me just allocate. Yeah, we should be good. So now getting back to the hints, after you have finished building some bullet towers, maybe one or two spray towers, you can start building elemental bolt towers, which are amazing to deal with pretty much every enemy that comes through, for which you also have to build essence collectors. You don't need a whole ton of them, but you can, you know, at this point at day 31, I have 22,000 storage capacity for essence. They're something that you're going to primarily use to fuel your own spells, for the simple reason that once you've built your harvesting capacity of cryolithium and crystals, you should be able to keep your magic fueled for pretty much a very long time. Now, near the camp, I built the lumber shack and mining facility pretty much in day one, round one. I built three houses, my castle, a rock tumbler, mining facilities, lumber shack, rain catcher, water purifier, well, and that's about it. That's what I built as the very first couple of structures in my game. Now, remember that the game devs have given us additional slots, structure slots, when we upgrade the camp and build ancillaries. You don't need as many ancillaries as in the previous build. You can actually make do with quite a few. Yeah, so that's that. That's how you start your day in Rise to Ruins. That's pretty much the same strategy you can follow for every single region, and you'll be able to build a pretty solid holdout against the enemy. Make sure to keep track of your walls as your resources are being harvested. Gaps will open up, or you'll have to push the boundaries of your territory to ensure that the enemy does not take over. that's about it, really. Those are the tips I'd like to give you for starting points of the game. Towards day 30, when the enemy spawns start increasing, you'll have to start using the storm spell to make the rain come and destroy the fire elementals. And while that's going on, you want to build a couple of ice crystal combobulators to give yourself that ranged attack bonus, which is fantastic. The ice crystal, here we go. Ice crystal golem, melee damage, range damage, magic, ice. They will make sure that the fire elementals don't bother you and they don't do too much damage to your towers, but you still have to spam your storm spell to keep the elementals constantly drained of their health. Now, the next point is the trash. Now, the trash mechanism is something that's been added to the game under the trash build menu over here. You got a meteor shower. Let me just take a look. Where is it? Well, it's not falling around here. Where is it? Oh well, who cares? So now we have the trash in which you can build burners, processors, QB golem combobulators, trashy Q piles, and of course your landfill. Now you can build small trash cans and everything to hold trash. I wouldn't bother, just go straight for landfills. What we did was to build 2 of them, and then we built a 3rd one also. Now we have no trash in it because we basically created 3 cube golem combobulators from here, and then we told them to create trashy cube piles. And when you tell them to create trashy cube piles, they will convert all your garbage to trashy cubes. They will use those trashy cubes to create trashy cube piles. Now remember that you want to build all of this, all of your processors, your burners, right, and your landfills and QB golem combobulators, blah 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 blah. You want to build them all far away from your housing structure here. The reason, very simply, is desirability. You can see the bright green spots giving maximum desirability for the bourgeois upper class landowners in your village. They want to live a happy life in the town center, and the dingy, dirty districts are to be kept far away from the urban centers. You can see the negative desirability value. Everything in the trash tree has like -3, -1, -4, -5 desirability. Essentially, the logic is you don't want to live near trash. That's about it. So the other thing that's changed in the game is the roads and digging. Now, roads and digging, instead of being a button over here, is now a complete panel of its own. If you want to dig a hole, there's an option over there. You want to dismantle existing roads, we got an option for that too. And you can directly go for the main road right here. It just makes life easy. Select that, click the path that you want to pave, and your Waymaker Shack will take care of it. So that's pretty much how it is. You can see that it's being done here right now. He's building the roads, blah 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 blah. But when the roads are being made, the Waymaker will still follow the logical progression of path, log path, cobble and log path, cobble and board road, and cut stone and board road. This just makes it very easy for you to order the best possible road. Now, the other thing you want to do is to strategically manage your resources. You don't want to cut too much. You can see I have not highlighted any of the resources available here because I do not want my villagers moving out of this designated territory. They still do. Those are the guards, which I'll get to in a moment. You don't want them moving out of this designated territory and stepping into enemy territory because the AI for the villagers is stupid. They run headlong into enemy territory and get killed. The only ones you want even patrolling anywhere are the guards. You can see that's what they're doing. I honestly don't know why they're just walking around out there. They call it patrolling the perimeter, but okay, whatever. That's fine. Now, they are probably the only ones who can survive. If you look at the HP, the average villager over here, it's like level 5, has 250 HP, whereas a guard wandering out here has something like 359 HP. Now, this is how stupid it gets. This is a monster. Fight the monster. That's your job, guard. Apparently not, but okay. So their job is to patrol the perimeter and apparently run away. Now that's level 14, he's level 9, that probably explains it, but whatever. Oh, come on. Do your job, you lazy bum. The dog has more courage than the guards. Anyway, You want the guards to add a little bit of force multiplier to your golems, especially, just saying. It's not that big or reliable a force multiplier, but why not? That's the best that we can really come up with at short notice. Let me just yeah, let me just finish creating that. There we go. So just make sure that you add some guards to give yourself an extra bit of a boost, as in how useful that would be. But you have to manage your resource allocation very carefully to clear out territory. Okay, here's the thing. Instead of mining and cutting trees and mining rocks for the sake of building structures, here you're doing it more to clear out the territory, build your walls, build your defenses, and keep the corruption out. That's basically it. You're staking your claim of the map. At a certain point, you don't really need resources, but you can even clear out the ground and make it really clean, or you can keep a patch of resources at the edges of the map so that you can rebuild them whenever you need to with the motivate land, but like that. The trees come back and you can chop them again. Now, basically the thing to remember is you have to assign and unassign the relevant resource extraction areas. You can do that with the Q button. Now that's been changed. Let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to assign, well, okay, let me just unassign this. All right, now you click to assign a particular area. You press and hold the Q key, not the X key, the Q key, and click to unassign. So that's how you do it. If you don't want your villagers going somewhere, please remember to unassign the areas. You can increase the size of assignment and unassignment using the lesser than sign and the greater than signs, like that on your keyboard. Remember to unassign, otherwise your stupid villagers will go crash into the trees and get themselves killed. This is very important. The villagers are really, really dumb, guys. Now, after that's done, thanks to the extra building slots available, you can get your migration station, maintenance building, way shack, and marketplace going really fast. Use the marketplace to buy lots and lots of Khajiit laborers, add to your population. Use migration station to send migrants to different parts, different regions, so that you can build additional towns. Now, that's pretty much how you do it. So far, we're in year 2, day 31. And the game has been pretty good to us. We've done quite well without any problems and without an army of 500 golems going and trying to kill the enemy. So before we end up this video with tips and tricks, we are going to play the remainder of this day and show you guys how this works. Performance is actually pretty good. We don't have too much of a problem with that. I'm going to reduce particles just for the recording of this video, but when you play it, trust me, it's pretty smooth. It's good. At least on my machine, I've not had any problems at all. And I'm going to disable screen shake as well. That's always a little irritating to me, the screen shaking. I get the point, like if there's an earthquake or if there's a storm, but still, at least for this, I'm going to disable it. I'll enable it again later. Let's see what happens here. Now here they come. Are there fire elementals? If there are, I'm gonna start dumping the storm on their heads. I don't see any fire elementals coming forth. Oh yeah, another tip that we needed to mention, you can see our Golem Army is getting out there and fighting. Another tip we needed to mention is that the essence drops are not as good as they were before from monsters. So you really want to make sure that you have your crystal harvestry and the other one. Where is it? Here. The crystallary, the crystal harvestry, and a good store of crystal to make sure that you have filled up essence collectors where you can charge your essence powers from. I'm sure the game developers will be balancing that going forward, but for now, you need to know that that is going to be sometimes going to be an issue, especially in early game. So here we are. You can actually see at speed 3x, the monsters are coming in. I just want to make sure that there are no fire elementals, because if there are, I have to start tossing in storms. I don't think it's required. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. You guys can see the action. Now, my towers over here are doing an amazing job just making sure that they tear the heck out of these guys. Look at those dead bodies. Look at those dead bodies. Here come the raids. Now, the raids are the reason, these little things here, the specters, I call them raids, they're the reason that you build curtain walls. Curtain walls prevent them from just passing through, but here you can see the raids can just walk straight over these stone walls. Oh yeah, another thing you guys need to remember when dragging and dropping monsters is if you put them into an empty mode over here, there's some sort of bug where they just climb over the stone wall and start walking. Normally, any monster other than the Wraith is not supposed to be able to do that, but here they do sometimes. So just keep that in mind when you drag drop monsters. Put them on the road or dry land. Don't try to put them, you know, in the moat over there, unless it's a fire elemental, in which case it dies. But for normal monsters, don't put them in the moat. So far you guys can see that they're not able to penetrate our defenses. The knight is already 1/4 the way over. These are our golems. They're doing pretty well. Let me just help them out. There we go. Enjoy. We still have about, yeah, 42 golems going at it. I'm assuming at some point the fire elementals should come out, because they have been coming out the past couple of days, but not so far. Okay. Make sure you take a look around the map. Make sure that there's nobody else wandering around. Nobody trying to take advantage of you, skirt your defenses, create more problems. Make sure you keep checking the resource extraction points. Yeah. You don't want your territory to be breached. You know, just saying. You don't want it to be breached when you're busy holding off a horde of monsters and it's breached on one side. There's nothing like that annoying sense of failure because you overlooked something. You don't really want that. I'm not really sure how effective poison towers are, but they built a couple. Most of my magic towers are fire because fire seems to be a vulnerability for a lot of monsters. I do have some ice towers too for the fire elementals, but mainly, oh boy, here they come. The main reason I built the ice golem combobulators is to take care of the fire elementals. The rest of the towers are primarily fire based so that they can take care of all the other tough ass monsters. And it started raining. Now, fire elementals take a lot of damage when it rains. They also regenerate at higher levels, apparently, so that's something to take care of. Now, going forward, we will probably have a little bit of trouble because the monsters, the average monster level, is already exceeding level 10. Things will probably become a little difficult going forward, so we need to be a little careful about that. You can see the fire elemental is level 20. Look at that thing with HP 975. That's insane. But the fact that we have guards who are supposedly doing their jobs is good to know. I think all the guards ran away. I'm not. Is he still? Is he fighting? Who's this guy? He's a maintainer. What about the guard whose job it is to repair stuff? Oh, by the way, so that your idiot people don't go and get themselves killed in the monster melee, cost recall. It doesn't take much. Just cost recall to make sure you get all the loot back to your camp and your stupid villagers don't go outside and get themselves killed. Yes, they do that. They're very, very smart, stupid villagers. Okay, we're gonna... Right, this is... There we go. Should help. Oh la 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 la, ha ha ha. What is that? Oh, that's my ice crystal. You know, these guys are funny because when you look at these ice crystal golems, they're like in different shades and stuff. But anyway. Yeah, that fire elemental is level bloody 18. Level 18. And this 75% vulnerability is why I always try to put in some ice golem combobulators. Let's do something fun. Let's resurrect. Can I do that? No. Oh wow, so this is like golem specific. Pretty awesome. Yeah, let's do it on you. Yeah, it doesn't work. Why? Regenerate. Does not work on golems. Oh well, that's so nice. Let me try. Oh cool! I charmed a fire elemental. Hey you! That is so cool. Look at him waste that child zombie. Look at that. The fire elemental is like, I am your king. I'm gonna kick everybody's butt. Look at that. He's not gonna die though, but yeah, that's how you turn everybody against everybody. Let me try again. I'll turn you. And I will turn you. Yay, look at those hearts. I love monsters. No, I don't. I should use that more. Just turn a horde of fire elementals to help me out. Okay, guys, so that's day 32, and we are still alive and kicking. Everything's good. So this is pretty much the summary that I wanted to present of the in-dev 33B version of Rise to Ruins. You have to stake your territory, right? And then you build in that territory, don't venture outside. Don't try to attack the corruption, there's no point. Right? Stake your claim. Eventually, of course, the corruption will try to take over the whole map, and this bar will rise and rise and rise, and it will be very difficult. That is why, after you reach about 100, I don't know, 150 odd, 120 odd citizens, and you send enough immigrants to start a new town, stop playing the region, go to the new one, and then live in each region for at least 1 year, you win the game. That's pretty much how it works. Getting a full complement of guards and stuff is like super difficult. It is. I have to say. Alright guys, so that is one half day in this game. And I have shown you guys all the new features and taught you how to go into Rise to Ruins and successfully build your own city. Remember that golem combobulators have been replaced pretty much by towers as the primary means of defense. It is fairly easy to control. And with a little bit of practice, you guys should be back to rocking your Rise to Ruin regions in no time. All right, now let's save and exit, get a few more perk points, and I'll show you guys the new region that I'm building. Remember that you can carve your territory pretty much according to your desire. It doesn't have to be a corner of the map. It can be in the middle of the map too, which is something that I'll show you guys. Now we completed a couple of quests here. Cool. And we're ready. We need 200 more points to open this chest. Let me just show you guys the narrow path, which is the new region where we started building our new village. Now, what we have done here is we built a town literally in the middle of the map. We started pretty much here, right? That's way over here in the map. This is where we started. And what I've decided is, you can see from the wall, this is just day 9, by the way. You can see from the wall structure that we have pretty much built the opening of our maze, and we have staked out our territory. I have marked the resource extraction areas accordingly. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a wall here, right? We're going to stake out this territory as ours in this region, and the corruption will take the rest. That's pretty much how this is going to play out. And again, this is the new maze. And here we have a couple of spray towers. I just replaced, in the previous day, in this region, I replaced my bullet towers with spray towers. So I don't have any golem combobulators here. Probably I won't have any till day 27, 28. But you can see that it's quite easy with just two ancillaries and a fairly mid-level upgraded keep to have over 68 build slots. So that's quite convenient. And here also we have a housing district. You can see the desirability range. And we have the storage district and we have the trashy district right here. Now, with regard to the trash district, I haven't even upgraded these much. They're still just landfills. Let's make them established landfills. And once that's done, I'm going to start building the cube e-golem combobulators. That's pretty much why I have them out there in the first place. And they will take all that trash and they will turn it into trash cubes, and thus the village will be clean. That's pretty much the idea. All right, guys, so this is the region, and you can see the corruption expanding, right? It's slowly spreading across the bottom too. It will take this entire map structure around my town. I need to finish mining out this entire spot and building up my walls for this whole area pretty quickly. And that's pretty much the idea. Once that's done, I'll move on to another region, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. And that's pretty much how you do it. Welcome to Rise to Ruins, the new version. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Like our YouTube channel, follow us on our Facebook page, and stay tuned for more great videos from Razorlight Entertainment. My name is Andar. Thank you for joining me today for Rise to Ruins, the new developers version. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you next time. God bless you all. Peace.